The first part of our analysis is to figure out what skin type our client has, and we can choose the appropriate products that would benefit the person. So what first we do is look at the skin under a magnifying lamp, and what we look for is the pore size, and what we're looking for is the size of the pores and the secretions that are coming out. In this case, we can see that she has a definite T-zone, which means oiliness in the forehead, the nose, and slightly on the chin as well. Now, when we examine the sides of her face, we're noticing that she has her pore size on the sides look fairly normal, but she does have a bit of sensitivity with a little bit of broken capillaries or little broken veins. So I would treat her as a combination skin, which might lean a little towards the sensitive depending on how she's reacting to the cleansing. Okay, so from there we can choose our products and we can start our cleansing. So from there we choose the appropriate cleanser, and in her case I'm going to use a special cleansing gel, and this is good for a combination skin as well as most skin types. So what we're doing is activating it with a little bit of water, and what we're doing is just cleansing quickly, and we're spreading it with little circular motions, and we want to make sure we get it nicely on the skin and we get all areas, doing little circles to make sure that we get in there and we clean out those follicles. And don't forget the neck. The neck is also part of our face, and even the décolleté, because a lot of sun damage and happens on the décolleté area as well. So that should be part of your cleansing and treatment as well, because this shows your age just as much as your face does. So once we get it nicely all over the skin, we can rinse it. And we rinse it just with sponges, or in my case I'm going to be using some gauze pads, and what we do is just rinse it with water. At home she can rinse this under the shower, or she can rinse it just in the tap, or with a face cloth for that matter. Okay, so we rinse it nicely. Now if she wore a lot of makeup, or if you tend to wear a lot of makeup, what you could do is actually do a second cleanse, and that would remove any further pigment that's left back on the skin. Now cleansing really doesn't have to take too long. It's just to get off all of the loose environmental pollutants that you've sort of gathered all day long. We rinse well. Okay. Now if she was wearing mascara, we would be taking that off first, but she doesn't. Then we do a rinse, and the rinse would be with the toner, and we have an option. We can spray it onto the skin, or we can actually spray it on a pad and wipe it. And what this does is takes any residue that's left behind from the cleanser and any makeup or debris that we might have left behind. Okay. Now what we're going to do is exfoliate. Okay, we've cleansed the skin, we've taken off the surface environmental pollutants and dirt, as well as any makeup she might have had. Now what we want to do is exfoliate, and exfoliating is an important part of the cleansing system, because what it does, it removes any dead skin that is accumulating on the face, and that's that roughness we feel when we run our hand across the face. Also, it's great for any dryness or dehydration that might be on the face, and helps get rid of any of those tiny little wrinkles that might start to form. And in this case, what we're going to use is the Dermalogica special daily microfoliant. And what we do, and this is what you would do at home, is put a little bit in your hand, add a little bit of water, turn it into a paste, and then you could apply it, and again, little circles on the face. And this is great because it's not overly stripping the skin, but it is exfoliating and brightening it as well. And after this, you would always feel the difference on the skin. The skin will feel definitely a lot more smoother than it did when before you started. Again, don't forget the nose. If it dries out, just add a little water. And this could be used every day. And this is great too because you can have it in the shower. You can put it on in the morning quickly while you're in there, and you don't have to worry about doing another step when you come out, especially if you're busy. And again, it doesn't take long. Again, rinse it. Can you feel the difference on your skin? Does it feel better?
Yeah.
Already we can see her skin getting brighter. And it looks more hydrated than before we started. Now, we have an option for daily use. What she can do is actually just apply her moisturizer and she's ready to go. As a treatment, once a week, what she can do is actually apply a mask. And we would use a mask according to her skin type. And in her case, we're going to use the plankton. For the reason of her oiliness, this will help control those oil deposits. And again, not very much, just apply it. Especially on the T-zone, you want to really make sure that you cover this area well. Now you would do this once a week. And the benefit of the mask is it's going to help with the sebaceous deposits. So any extra oil that's on her skin, it will help try control it. It also deep cleanses the skin even further and brightens it. And again, put some eye pads and just relax for about 10 minutes. Okay, now we're going to take it off, and we just take our sponges or our pads, and we want to moisten the area first to soften it up. Because this is a setting mask and it will set to the skin, that we want to hydrate it before we start rubbing. And rinse. You okay?
Yes.
Good. And just make sure you get all traces of the mask off. Okay, and again, we're going to tone the skin just to give it a final rinse. And what this will do also is prepare the skin for the moisturizer. And also those to remove any residue that might be left behind. Okay. Then we apply our moisturizer. Now in her case, I'm using one that's meant for combination skin, which will balance her oiliness to her normal parts of her skin. And it doesn't feel heavy. But it's going to give her that moisture that she needs so she doesn't feel tight or dehydrated. And the last step we always do is using our SPF or our sunscreen to protect against further UV radiation damage to the skin, which prevent any aging, premature aging. And you don't need a heavy coat, very light coat. Okay? Now, once a week too, or in the evenings when she cleanses her skin, she might also would like have the option of applying a serum to the skin. What the serum is a concentration of active ingredients that will benefit her conditions. So in her case, we would be using like a sebum control, which would help normalize the secretions of her oils in her T-zone area, which would benefit her so that way we don't have that excessive oiliness. And that again would be used at night after she cleanses, and after her toning, she puts this on, then her moisturizer, and that would be it.